All right, guys. Hey, it's your spiritual big brother again. This is kind of a follow-up to the last video that I just had. And I had some time to kind of think about it while I was out driving. And so I kind of wanted to give you guys an example. How can you apply what we talked about with perspective awareness? Okay, how does that look on paper? How can you use that as a tool? A mental tool that will help you kind of moving forward. Like why care so much about perspective from somebody else's shoes? Why get comfortable with figuring that out? Why keep doing that? So let me bring it all together and give you guys kind of a useful example where you can kind of hopefully see how this can actually be used and applied in a way that could work with many different situations. So the one that kind of popped into my head was thinking about it from maybe like how a cop might label somebody else. So think about it this way. I mean, really think about it. Put yourself in a cop's shoes. Think about what that looks like. Think about maybe what you know or maybe even what you don't know. You might have to really dig a little deep. But cops are trained to read, react, and kind of ask questions later. I mean, with exception. Of course, there's supposed to be some due process involved. But sometimes they need to instinctually react. They are trained to do that. And so think about that from a cop situation. What would make you more labelable? Okay? How could they maybe not judge you as much? Put yourself in their shoes. What might that look like to them? A way to kind of give you a free pass, or for them to approach you, look at you, and think, you know, I don't want to give this guy a hard time. Maybe this, and maybe it's as simple as looking more important, right? And I know for some people that sounds a little suffocating, right? You want to be who you want to be. You want to look a certain part. Maybe part of what makes you who you are is that raw edginess and looking distinctly different. But from a cop's perspective, they're going to label you regardless of what it is you care about or what you like. So for me, I kind of balanced it out. You know what I mean? I like spirituality. I like being a little bit rebellious here. And I also used to play sports. So I kind of put it together, not intentionally thinking that way, but just saying like, I guess it's something that maybe over time I kind of just understood. And now I'm kind of showing you guys as far as like what that looks like. So really think about that from a cop's perspective. You know, look less like a drug dealer, less like a criminal, less like an even in-betweener, like somebody that they can't label easily. I know, like I said, that's taking away, detracting from authenticity a little bit, but you could still be authentic and have like some structure around that. Do you know what I mean? You know, I've put structure around mine, but that's kind of what I'm trying to say is like, think about that, like how you can apply that, like how a cop might see you, and maybe how you should be more self-aware of yourself, of what you look like, of the attention that you're attracting to you, and vice versa. Okay, we all do it. We all judge instantly. We all label. You know, maybe we shouldn't, but we do. So keep that in mind. That's why perspective is so important. Okay, you can use it in so many different ways. This is a practical way to perhaps make an interaction with anybody for that matter, but especially in this case, if you know, let's say you're speeding and you get pulled over, okay, you don't want to get dropped on many different charges or look suspicious and then they want to search the vehicle. You hear what I'm saying? Like, at least set yourself up and understand it. So this is just one practical way to use perspective in a way that I think most people want to know why perspective even matters or why it's such a good tool. And in situations like this, where you start thinking this way about things, you're going to be able to adjust yourself in a lot of different ways. Maybe that even means, you know, learning how to be a little bit more competent in ways too, so that you feel relaxed and calm in that situation, knowing what to expect in a situation like that, and just being cool and collective. You know what I mean? There's so many different ways to kind of play this, think about it, and figure out what works for you. Okay, this is more about you. I use it as a tool, and I kind of had to realize that, and then think about how I use it as a tool to be able to kind of give that back to you guys so you can do the same thing with it. I hope that this has been helpful. I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for being here.